My name is Brendan Brosnan, and I played football at Penn State for 3 years before a chronic hip injury ended my career. Yes, this was me just a few months and 75 pounds ago. Kind of crazy. For weeks leading up to my decision to stop playing, I was in a pretty bad state. Physically, I sacrificed my body, blood, sweat, and tears to football. It really hit me hard when it got to the point where my body was no longer capable of doing the things I'd once asked it to do. Mentally, I sacrificed an enormous amount of time and energy to be successful on the field. Emotionally, I felt the pressure of my hometown pushing down on me, and the wide eyes of my 4 brothers looking up at me. What started as an Advil or 2 here or there quickly turned into 16 Advil days. My walks to class became difficult, and sleeping on my right side was honestly out of the question. On many days, hours of rehab in the morning would only earn me the opportunity to watch my teammates practice for hours in the afternoon. I felt useless. In an environment where you feel bad for missing just one practice or one workout, which I had missed many of, it was easy for me to mistake my self-worth and football success as one and the same. During this period of time, I let the negativity I was feeling from my football injury seep into other areas of my life. I lost interest in things I once had a passion for doing. My grades and relationships suffered as well. I eventually reached out for help. I remember one night talking with my dad on the phone. When teary-eyed, I said, "Dad, I want this so bad. I put my heart and soul into being a good football player. Why isn't it paying off? Dad, what's wrong with me?" But then, in one moment, this feeling all changed. As I was returning back to Penn State after my summer internship to begin my new role as an undergraduate assistant coach on the football team, it happened. I was standing in the back of the meeting room, keeping to myself, when one of the players looked back and yelled, "Brosnan!" Then, to my surprise, the entire team stood and started clapping, and the room lit up with energy. I could not believe people were that excited to see me. I made my way around the room, hugging my guys with a huge smile on my face. Over the next few weeks, I had some real eye-opening conversations with different guys on the team. The kind of conversation that's rare to hear in a football building where all you really hear is insults and inside jokes. The gist of many of these conversations were that guys were expressing appreciation for how I conducted myself during my career at Penn State. They were showing respect for the positive attitude I maintained, even during the hardest workouts and longest practices. They shared stories with me of how I positively impacted them, and without them knowing, they were making a huge impact on me. In the months that followed this moment, I improved in the classroom, met some amazing people, and even found a little extra energy to start a clothing business on the side. But most importantly, I was consistently in a happy state. It's crazy now to think that some of the best things in my life came after just one perspective-shifting moment. I never made it as a starter on my team. I never made it to my dream job in the NFL. But something about that moment told me that maybe, that just maybe, I made it as a person. After months of searching for what it was that actually earned me that moment, I had a revelation. As it turns out, it was one simple thing I'd been doing that I'd actually learned from other people who had impacted my life. This revelation can make you a better person. It's a secret that in hindsight, I had been using during the majority of my college career. A secret that gave me the opportunity to earn the respect of my team, even before I realized just how important it was. Here's the secret. Don't spend energy on things you cannot control, and spend a lot of energy on the things you can control. And I know how simple it sounds, but I believe it's so simple that it's often overlooked. And today, I want to show you that through practice, you can learn to not care about things you shouldn't care about, like things you can't control. And you can learn to only spend your energy on the things you truly care about and have the ability to control. So, what are the things you shouldn't care about, and what are the things you should care about? And how will this help you become a respected person in your own life? First, you should not care about the things that you don't have an ability to control. For example, you don't have the ability to control bad weather, negative people, lost time, or Donald Trump's tweets. Yet, Why do we see so many people complain about the rain on the way to work? Get caught up in the negativity of another person, regret things not done in the past, or become angry at some tweet? We do not have the ability to control a single one of these things, yet we all know people in our lives that spend an enormous amount of energy on them. Instead, what if we practiced carrying good weather with us everywhere we went? What if we didn't let other people's negative thoughts and actions influence our lives? What if we vowed to live our lives in the present so we wouldn't have to spend time lamenting on the past over things that could have been? No matter how bad the weather, how hard negativity knocks to get in, how many times missed opportunities in the past resurface in an attempt to bring you down, you have the ultimate control to decide how you will respond. A man named Viktor Frankl taught me the amount of power we have in choosing our response to any set of circumstances. While you can't control what happens to you, you can control how you respond to what happens. Viktor endured literal hell on earth as a Jew inside multiple World War II concentration camps, where he was starved, beaten, and tortured. They could break Viktor's spirit, but what they quickly learned is that they could not break Viktor's body. The reason that they could not break Viktor is because he recognized the importance in only empowering the thoughts that he could control. Looking back on the experience, he says, "Everything can be taken from a man but the last of the human freedoms. To choose one's attitude in any set of circumstances. To choose one's own way." If this is what a man living through years of unfathomable conditions took away as the most profound learning moment during that time, then it has to be important. If someone living through circumstances as dark as anybody living on the planet could choose to respond to any situation in a positive way, you can do the same in your life. Begin to live with this in mind. Ask yourself, can I control this stimulus or situation? If you answer yes and you can control it, then allow yourself to spend mental energy on it. But if you find that after asking, is this stimulus or situation something I can control, and you answer no, then do not allow yourself to spend mental energy on it. It's that simple. The most successful athletes, coaches, and entrepreneurs that I've been around are the ones that truly believe in the power of this secret as well. They are rarely the most talented or intelligent people on the team, but they do a tremendous job controlling the controllables. You might not be the fastest, but you can decide to be the hardest worker because that's in your control. You might not be as naturally strong as the person you're playing against, but you can make sacrifices to stretch longer, eat better, and sleep more to become better because you have the power to make those decisions. You might not be the most intelligent person on the team, but you can take steps to become smarter. You can listen rather than speak so you can add to your own knowledge. Don't spend your mental energy worrying about your job security when your company is going through a merger. Learn how to effectively adapt to the new company so you can become a valuable contributor. It is so easy to discount somebody's success and say, "Oh, they just got lucky," when that's rarely the case. You show me a successful, well-respected person, and I'll show you someone that has, to a large degree, been successful because they spend their energy on the controllables. One method that has really helped me implement this secret into my life was developing a strong relationship with the voice inside of my head. Let me explain. I want you all to take a second to lock onto the voice in your head. Can you hear that? Inside your head? What is it saying? Is it speaking positively or negatively? This voice is a gift that makes us all uniquely human, and it's one of the key things that sets us apart from animals. In fact, scientific research tells us that humans, by far, have the deepest capability for self-reflection. The voice that you've just located is the voice that wakes you up first thing in the morning and is either excited for a new opportunity that the day will bring, or it's the voice that's just bored and trying to make it to the weekend. It's the voice that has the ability to command your body and brain and to take you to new levels and to do what is necessary in order for you to achieve your goals. When you respect this voice, your voice respects you back. And when you think about it, why would you not want to develop a good relationship with this voice? You will spend more time with this voice than any other person, by a long shot. According to the National Science Foundation, our voice produces as many as 50,000 thoughts per day. 50,000. Can you think of anyone in your life that gives you that much advice in even a year? Probably not. Are these thoughts as positive as you want them to be? If they're not, train your voice to speak more positively and ask it not to get worked up over situations that it has no business getting worked up over. Learn to only authorize your voice to speak in controllable situations. What you'll begin to see happening as you develop this relationship with your voice is you'll have more control over your emotions as well. Allow your voice to acknowledge that the emotion you're feeling is real and that that emotion is happening, but that it does not dictate your reality. Give your voice the jurisdiction, not your emotions, to decide how you're going to act on a given day. There will be times when you are sad, tired, and frustrated, but ask your voice to not allow these feelings to exert any control over your life. If I were exhausted at 5 a.m. during a workout, or frustrated at midnight with a conversation with one of my suppliers in China for my business, I'd ask my voice to not let how tired or frustrated I was affect how hard I was going to work or the positive attitude I was going to maintain. I didn't want to let the bright opportunities in my life slip out of sight because emotions were in the way, clouding my vision. When you realize that there's a voice in your head you can literally control, you're halfway there already. Treat your voice like it's a top-performing employee and train it to be successful because your voice dictates your life. Your thoughts become your words. Your words become your actions. Your actions become your habits, and your habits become your character. And eventually, your character becomes your destiny. We are all humans that have this incredible gift of self-awareness. It's up to us to use it. My mom taught me how we should treat our voices. When I was in high school, my mom battled severe cancer. It's tough to describe the emotions you feel as you wonder whether or not your mother will make it. It was so easy to allow my voice to become frustrated and angry at a situation that was out of our control. My beautiful mother was suffering, and there was nothing in my power that I could do to help her heal. All I could do was be there for her in her time of need. But my mom taught me that it wasn't acceptable to be frustrated and angry at a situation that was out of our control. She commanded her body to get her out of bed in the mornings when her weak muscles and joints literally begged her to stay in. After aggressive rounds of chemo, my crazy mom would come home and get on her treadmill to help her body sweat and heal. She spent all her energy helping her body heal and didn't waste even 1% of it on things she could not control. She showed me that her voice was more powerful than her emotions. She taught me that even the greatest adversity in life can be viewed as an opportunity for growth when we are well connected with your voice and have the right outlook on the situation. She also taught my little brother Marty how to give a sweet haircut. What an impact she had on her team at home. I believe developing this relationship with your voice is so important. And when you do so, you'll have more control to decide how you choose to spend your mental energy. For the next minute or so, I want you to picture your mental energy like a battery, like we all have on the phones in our pockets. Now picture a device that you could hold to the side of your head that would tell you the mental percentage battery life you were on. It's like the phones in our pockets, but it doesn't get drained by sending texts or selfies. It gets drained by how we interact with everything around us on a daily basis. The more effectively your voice handles the stimulus you constantly face, the higher the charge. The higher the charge, the more energy you have available to spend on the things you want to do, on your goals, and on the things that make you a better person. Your battery gets drained when you ineffectively interact with the stimulus you're presented with on a daily basis. The lower the battery, the quieter your voice becomes as it tries to monitor your life with low battery. It barely has the power to pull you out of bed in the morning, let alone help you achieve your goals. So how do we ensure that our voices are loud and powerful? The voice that says, get your butt out of bed and go conquer the day. We do this by actively monitoring our daily routines, by having the awareness that if it's draining our mental battery and if it's out of our control, that it should not in fact be draining our battery at all. What if after holding this device to your head, you realized you spent 10% of your day's mental energy agonizing over some tweet? You might spend that energy getting to know your partner better. What if you realized you spent 20% of your day's mental energy stressing about the weather you have to travel through on your way to work or school? You might spend that energy thinking about how you're going to crush a presentation you have to give in the afternoon. What if you realized that after holding this device to your head, you spent 50% of your day's mental energy worrying about what someone who you don't even like, is saying or thinking about you? Spend that energy on the people you do like, investing in those relationships. Turn away from people that spend their mental energy bringing other people down because they are clearly in an unhealthy place if that's how they're choosing to spend their valuable energy. Use 0.01% recognizing that fact, then move on. And I know it's not the same for everybody. There are varying degrees of stress in everyone's life that affects their battery differently. But the reason it's so important to consciously visualize your mental state is so at the least, you can recognize when it's off balance. So, how do we tie this all together? When you consider the demands of today's world, you have longer days, less vacation time, later retirement, constantly plugged into your never-ending emails, text messages, and important social media notifications that barrage your lives. You live in a highly demanding and unpredictable world, and implementing this secret ensures that your life is not derailed by things that are happening to you that are out of your control. Viktor Frankl used this secret in his life, keeping his thoughts positive in a concentration camp where doing so was next to impossible, and he credits his life with his ability to do so. The most successful athletes, coaches, and entrepreneurs use this secret in their life to focus on the controllables, which gives them the focus to maximize their potential. My mom applied this secret into her life, which is why I believe she's still alive today. She spent all her energy on the things she could control and maintaining a positive attitude, which allowed her to view her adverse condition as an opportunity she got to overcome rather than a burden she had to bear. Remember, the first step in implementing this secret is to develop that relationship with your inner voice. When you listen to your voice and become more self-aware of all of its 50,000 thoughts, you will be in control. And your life won't just be happening to you, it will be happening for you. Then you can use your inner voice to only spend energy on things you can control and direct your mental battery only towards those things. Use this secret to ensure that your life is focused on the right things, the things you have the ability to influence. You can be a difference maker by doing this one little thing. A difference maker, not only in your own life, but take it from me, you will impact the lives of your teammates as well, whomever your teammates happen to be. Use this secret, even for just one day, and see what happens. I promise you, it will make a positive impact. And the best part is that it all starts with one. As Gandhi taught, if you want to change the world, start with yourself, and I could not agree with him more. Change yourself, change your team, change your world. Thank you.